Good morning, Powur Hitters. Today is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. My name is Jared McAllister, your mentor and co-host, alongside my main man, Jonathan Bernasso. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Good morning, good afternoon. You got a nice shirt on there, Jared. Power Vision Holder.
Pretty sweet shirt. This is what $25,000 gets you.
Dang, nice.
Right? Put your money where your mouth is.
I think the back of it.
This company, believe in the future.
Turn around, Jared. What does the back of it say? Accelerating the adoption of sustainable energy worldwide. Boom.
Boom.
I wore this to my networking breakfast this morning. Always be networking.
Always, brother. Always. You also got a nice little pin.
Yep. Thank you, Edgardo Gonzalez from Texas. Got the pin. I'm official. I'm just got it. I'm official. So
nice, brother. Nice. Well, let's jump into some success stories, shall we?
Yes, indeed. Love to hear a good success story out there from the field. How you got it. Share it.
I got one.
Please.
Larry.
Well, I just recently joined a BNI, obviously thanks to Jonathan and his getting Powur involved very well with BNI. So I actually got my first referral. I'm going to talk to the guy in an hour. So I'm down here in San Diego. So it's a brother-in-law of a guy in my BNI group.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Giver's game.
That'll be a first for me. First referral from a networking group.
And you've been in BNI how long?
I just officially joined like a couple of days ago. I've been going to meetings for about a month because they don't have 15 yet. Mm-hmm. So they're still getting to, the spot where they're an official chapter. But so I kind of thought it was kind of nice to be in this founding group.
Awesome. Yeah.
I have a question for you, Larry.
Yes,
I know
sir.
Typically you have to be there in person. That's not where, you're in Mexico, correct?
Don't tell anybody.
But with that being said, are they still doing, is it virtual meetup still? Are they allowing that?
We have a virtual meetup every Tuesday at 7 a.m.
Okay, cool. And is it going to stay virtual?
I think it's going to stay virtual. And I think that I've been pretty transparent with where I live and no one seems to mind. So I know eventually I'm going to have to go to an in-person, but that's okay. It's fun to go to events.
For sure.
When you want to and can. So well, I'll keep you posted on that, Jared.
And what area is your BNI group center focused on? It's
in Oceanside, California. It's
nice.
Called the Oceanside Top Gun, because the old movie Top Gun was, the house that was in it is actually in Oceanside now.
Cool, man. Great stuff.
They moved it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and just shout out real quick to JC Rangel and his teammate Isela. Isela has been in a BNI for a few months. She just closed her first deal with BNI. Another shout out to Janice Vaughn. She's been in BNI for a few months. She just closed a 13 kilowatt cash deal from BNI. So BNI works for sure.
Nice. Yeah, and Jonathan, this is Eric Goldstein down in San Diego. I just closed a 7.2 kilowatt with a 10 kilowatt battery cash deal from BNI too. It's my first one there.
All
right. Very nice. BNI works when you work it.
Absolutely. Hey, I got one from Vegas. We just had my install scheduled, yay, for my Texas deal for next week. And nice. Mentee has a new proposal we just got back. Gentleman is hot and ready to go for solar, and it's a 23 kilowatts. So I'm excited for them.
Scott, is that a level 1 seller?
Yeah, correct.
Sorry,
thank you, Larry.
Las Vegas mentor. Good job, Scott. And looking forward to a Vegas meeting coming up here on the Freedom Tour.
Absolutely.
I had a pretty good week as well. I did an appointment on Sunday for a customer going to meet on a Sunday. As I was meeting with her, her neighbor came out to ask what we were doing. Now he's getting a quote. And when she learned about the ambassadorship, because I said, hey, if your neighbor does this, you get $1,000. She said, let me call my dad. His bill's over $500. So nice. a 3 for on Sunday, all of them looking very good.
Sweet. Great job, Scott.
Super good. Scott's crushing it and team. And shout out to Ricky in the chat here. Got a Zoom with my brother, onboarding some new power reps possibly. So good stuff, team. Let's keep it rocking here. We got a short day today. Thank you, Jarrett, for kicking things off.
Yes, sir.
Gonna do a few quick updates and then just get to a good training and hopefully do a little Q&A towards the end. So if you missed last week's training, Jarrett, thank you so much. Him and Paul Leone and Luis Perez and Scott Crum all led a great training. It's on my YouTube. You definitely want to hear it. Pricing, competition, how they win deals. I watched it myself. That was a great training, Jarrett.
Awesome.
Today, we have a Texas roofer, certified roofer with power, and he's a mentor on the platform. So we're going to hear from Jason in just a minute. Also, every Tuesday, 12 o'clock, there's Solar Sales Tuesday calendar, powercalendar.com. It's training, tons of trainings every week, guys. Enphase, REC, Sunlight. Every Thursday, if you're new here, please take an onboarding, 12 Pacific, 5 Pacific, powercalendar.com. And then next week, we get to hear from our Sin City Fresno mentor, Scott Crum, who's building a team, taking orders, getting ambassadors, been in the business 7 years and enjoys training people. So we're going to hear from his skill set. Following Tuesday is open. Tuesday after that, ops manager who runs all of California, Brenton, is going to be on the call. And then Tuesday after that, Julian Todd. If you don't know his name, YouTube him, search him on YouTube. He's an expert at solar panels, videos. He gets leads every week from his YouTube channel. The guy's super smart. Much, much more, powercalendar.com. Freedom Tour as well. If you're not going to the live in-person events or building into them, inviting into them, building around them, you're missing the boat. The Florida events, Texas events, Vegas events. We have San Diego right now this week. Really, really great stuff. And it's just about attending and seeing the energy, posting on social media. Guys, the other solar companies are taking notice that we're providing free training around the country and we're promoting it and we're online making a presence. So that's huge. I encourage you all to check those out. We have events all over. And then of course, make sure to register, check your emails for Power World, July 15th and 16th in person, Dallas, Texas. That's going to be an amazing event. We should know the location here in the next few weeks. All right, the Freedom Tour, San Diego, March 9th, tomorrow night, business presentation. This Saturday, March 12th, we have a training, Jim Bunch, David Steele, Mike Berg. If you're in San Diego, build, invite, attend. Vegas, Scott Venecia. He's the man. He's leading this March 19th, Saturday. Scott, if you're there, what should we expect Saturday, March 19th in Las Vegas with you and Charles?
Expect nothing but the best, man. We're here to provide the benefits of power to the community with a biz op in the morning, and then we're going to start some training. We're going to lead our new people down the path of success, educating them in things like how to read a power bill and how to create a proposal, how to do a proper discovery call, things like that. So it's going to be exciting, a lot of good information, good people, good energy. So we're looking forward to it.
Boom. Awesome, Scott. It was so cool to hang out with you guys and the team 2 weekends ago. Guys, if you can drive to Las Vegas, fly to Las Vegas, meet Charles, meet Scott, meet our other good mentors on here like Ray Sean and Chris Perez. Great opportunity to do that. So thank you, Scott, for your leadership.
Thank you, man.
Austin, Texas, Denver, Colorado, and Buena Park, California. Shout out to Luis Perez, David, Solar Lily, JC, doing a Spanish power tour in Southern California, Buena Park, April 2nd. So tons of good events coming up. And lastly, today at 11 a.m. Pacific, Cynthia Alvidrez will be hosting, and I'll be supporting her for my Solar and Real Estate 101 training. If you want to learn how to speak to realtors, what pain points, what sales points, the vernacular of how to speak to realtors, you want to attend one of these trainings. It's for real estate industry. There's 1 or 2 prior ones on my YouTube. If you want to watch it, you got to watch this at least once if you want to take your business seriously and learn how to connect with real estate agents. So today at 11 a.m. Pacific, we'll make sure to share the link in this chat before we hop over to that meeting. And with that, today we have a gentleman that I was privileged to meet in, where was that, Jason? Dallas, Texas, I believe, on the Freedom Tour with Edgardo. I've known him for over a year or 2, I believe. He is a mentor on the platform. He's familiar with the Texas market, and guess what? He owns a roofing company. He's a certified roofer for Powur. And also the deals that he has sold, I mean, I'll let him tell you, but this guy's making $7, $8, $9, $10, $11,000 per deal on some of the deals he's closed. So Jason, excited to have you, my friend. Go ahead and take yourself off mute, share your screen, and drop some nuggets on us.
Sure thing. Let me get the screen real quick. Present mode. There we go. All right. So the future is definitely renewable. I am very excited to be part of this team. Like I said, Jonathan mentioned, I did meet with him for the first time in Dallas in person. We've been talking for a while. I actually came in the business through his YouTube videos. On the very first video he posted when he sold 26 deals in 1 month. That got me super excited and I joined up. I had been looking for a way to get into the space of solar for my customers that were my roofing clients and add another stream of income to my existing business portfolio. So without further ado, I will jump into that. Something that I basically just believe in is definitely setting myself apart from other people by going beyond the limits of the average person to be exceptional. So this is where I get this quote from Donald Trump. You know, he's a very influential person in my life. I actually had the opportunity to meet him. I am from originally Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and we went through Trump Tower several times in New York when we were visiting, and I actually ran into him there and met him. So roofing in Powur, how to scale with maximum impact. Roofers have a book of business that they already do. They do anywhere from the smaller guys doing 50 roofs a year to the bigger guys doing 200 or 1,000 roofs in a year, depending on how big the company is. But that's in certain markets. Not all markets are that big, and scalability wise here in Texas for roofing is huge because there are around 5,000 roofing companies just in the Dallas Fort Worth area alone, ranging in size. So tapping into a market where you can get the one man shop roofer and turn him into a consultant, move him into mentor, and help him build his existing book of business in solar while you're making that impact for him in his life. You can also be doing the same thing for a company where they're running a huge book of business in roofing sales. One of our other mentors in this area, Keenan Garcia, he's been helping with me with some of his input, and we've been sharing ideas on it. And it's been something that the experience that we both have in it is a way for us to really put the pedal to the metal and build this company huge. And if you're not doing that, you guys need to really get on board with it. Your area, everybody's area that they're working in has roofing companies in it. So, and you know, they don't have storm damage restoration like we do in Texas or in Florida, hurricane impact areas, North Carolina, South Carolina, stuff like that, where they have a normal retail style roofing setup. California, for instance. Colorado has storm damage with hail. That's a good market there. Arizona is a retail market as well. New Mexico is a retail market as well. Nevada, the same thing, retail market. You don't really have storm damage where you're getting roofs replaced every 5 years or 3 years on a homeowner's house. So it's a little different type of a business for them. So it's a little bit easier when they do have a book of business to add another vertical for them. And what we would do is we'll go in and we'll train them for 1 month, 30 days. Go in, sit down. The owner picks the closer, who he wants, and then we offer that closer our skill set, show him how to do it. And then we'll even train one of his appointment setters because it's a set close model. And for that business owner, that can be somebody he's already got out knocking doors for roofing. And then you just train them to cross sell. And it's a very simple way for them to do it. If they're telemarketing to their old customers, they can just say, hey, we just added solar. Would you like a free quote? Pretty easy. They're already trusted by the roofer. They're gonna answer the phone because they're maybe expecting a call for a warranty service inspection or something like that. And that's just the normal for them. So it's easy to get those deals. Help them out. And show them how to build the business. And then once you get them rolling after 30 days, you back away and go on and do it again. Then you created yourself another residual income with your overrides on the platform that are already built in, and you don't even have to touch it. You're just there for support at that point. Some of those companies are going to be on the enterprise model. Some of them are going to be on just as a consultant. So you just want to kind of make sure you take a note of how big they are and which direction you need to put them in, because you don't want to overwhelm them. So here's some experience, why roofing experience is important for solar installation. Cause they, have the best knowledge of the installation practices for solar panels, being that they're on main support beams and ridges and things like that. You want to keep a fire distance for fire code, and they know those setbacks and things like that already. You don't even have to worry about it. They can easily, they're already up there on the roof inspecting the roof. They can kind of already understand what the site survey is going to yield for that roof. They also can spot red flags when they're doing the inspection on the existing roof to make sure that, hey, this roof's not suitable for solar. Let's go ahead and add a new roof into the installation of the solar. And then, they're always their experience regarding the impact of solar panels on the roof. They can explain that homeowner, leak protections and different things like that to avoid those situations, as well as the solar insurer and the warranties that we have. They'll also have their own warranties and explain to that homeowner what the understanding is for the homeowner to do. Installation on your rooftop solar system using techniques to prevent leaks, like we talked about, ability to quickly address any issues that may arise during the installation. If a roofer's already the one sold it and the installers come in to do the installation and find like a rotted out piece of wood or decking or something like that they can't attach to, the roofer can immediately take action, get in there, tell the homeowner, hey, we found this, we're going to fix it right now, get it knocked out. And then, he doesn't even have to add cost to the system because he's already sold a roof and or a solar system by itself. So doing something like that, replacing a piece of decking or roofing is like a couple $100. They'll just pocket it if they've already sold them. It's not a big deal. I do that for my clients often. We'll just do little things like that, get them on the way. That way they don't have to hold up the project. We can keep things rolling, and that way they're already satisfied with it, and they're understanding that you just went above and beyond, and now you got a customer for life who's going to bring tons of referrals because you went above and beyond.
Hey.
And then course, I had adjusted my warranties for my roof when I started selling solar because of the solar warranties that are there. And I kind of blanket the outside of the solar warranty itself. That way I ensure that they are still covered for whole entire roof, that will make sure that their roof is taken care of, because I've already put the roof on. It's not a big deal for me. I know my quality of my work. My guys are really good. I have 0 leaks. And that's pretty much what we've done and instilled our business on for the last 12 years.
Hey, Jason, quick question for you. What would be a good question or two for the consultants here when they're connecting with a roofer to connect with them and ask about adding solar to their business? What are some of the trigger points or the concerns maybe roofers have?
So a few trigger points would be, how does it affect my warranty as a roofer? And that's going to be one of their biggest concerns, right? Because of the liability aspect of that with solar. And then it's really easy to overcome that objection on it, because that trigger point is covered with solar insure. And then you can just the understanding that, okay, so solar insure is going to cover the solar system roof penetrations. It's not going to cover the interior work, but it's going to cover at least the roof penetrations from that system installation. So they'll be covered for the solar on their roof. You won't have to worry about it. Take that away from them. And then the other one is going to be, I've already touched on it initially, but would you like to expand your business without doing anything that is already not in place, right? You don't have to build a whole entire division out by yourself. It's already there. The project management's there, the back end support's there, the training is there. I'm also going to give myself to you for free for 30 days. Come in and train your person that you selected, that's going to be your appointment setter and your closer. So I'll come in and I'll mentor them. You don't have to worry about doing it. And that's a value add when you're trying to approach a roofer, because they don't want to do it.
Nice.
themselves.
No labor, no payroll, no fees, no permits, none of that BS. You just
None of it. You
add
don't
it
have
right
to.
on. Awesome.
It's headacheless.
Yeah.
And that's their biggest concern, because they already deal with a lot of liability with a roof. Doing anything roofing is one of the highest liability aspects in all of construction, because they're up high, they're on slopes, they're in difficult areas to get to. And then they have to deal with the elements, the wind. It's a lot windier 2 stories up than it is on the ground. Some places are 3 stories or 4 stories high, or if they're built into the side of a mountainside, or like in California, you got all those hills and different things like that. And then they're on Spanish tile roofing. Spanish tile is slippery.
Yeah.
You ever stepped on wet Spanish tile with a little bit of green mold on it? You're sliding, you're going down fast too. It's not like you have nothing to grab onto. So you got to hope that tie off that you just wrapped around your waist before you get up there is secure. Otherwise, you're going to get hurt. So those are the pain points that roofers are going to have: warranty and 0 headaches coming on board. They don't want that.
Thank you.
Another thing I want to talk about is Texas, powering Texas, because Texas is a little bit different of all the states in the entire country. Texas has its own utility grid. Most people don't know that. It's the only state that has its own utility grid. So the utility grid is mainly ERCOT, which is that reddish purple maroon color on the state. And then they have another couple of Southwest Power Pool. And what those are is like, they're just private businesses, right? That are supplying power from different aspects. Most of it is coal production, and then some of it is wind and solar. Texas does have the largest solar farms for delivery in the entire country. And you find a lot of the the non-deregulated areas, like the where the co-ops are, those will pull a lot of their energy from that solar power, and as well as the wind power, and then the hydropower, which is the Brazos River Power Authority, and the infrastructure that comes along with it, all owned by those private companies. So before deregulation, you have where the energy is basically a monopoly, and it's controlled by the state how much they can charge. After the areas were deregulated in Texas, the energy is now generated by separate companies, and then they have a separate company that is a retailer who you actually go to purchase your power. So you have the generator producing it. That retailer then contacts the generator, whichever generation point they want to, source from, and then they'll set up their rates, and then they'll sell to you, the customer. Well, when it comes to solar, we basically are going to try to find a more targeted company that has a better buyback program on the retail side for our customers. So it's a little bit tricky because sometimes there's companies out there that don't really like solar. They don't want to lose that customer, so they don't offer a really good buyback program. You have to be very careful in the Texas market of what areas you're targeting. So this is why I wanted to bring this up, because it's a different market because of that. So co-op power in Texas, these co-op power in Texas areas are those typical hard to deal with buyback programs. The buyback on them, sometimes they only do whatever the customer is utilizing. They won't buy any additional production that system produces. So sometimes it's not beneficial to go 100, 110, 105% production, because they're not really going to get anything for their money on it. If they are going to go that 110, 105, 100%, you always want to kind of think about talking to them about a battery. That way they can offset that overnight production loss that they're not going to gain when they are producing a lot, because they're going to have to buy it back from that utility, and they usually charge retail rate, not wholesale, and they're not buying anything back during the day, so they're only offsetting their own usage. So that's why we give them the power to choose. We give them that option. They don't have anything other than when they're in a co-op area, they have no choice. They can't go anywhere else. They can only go to that co-op. So offering solar allows them a choice, allows them to take that freedom back. And then when you take that freedom back, it gives them a good feeling. You also feel good helping them with that too. I really enjoy with my homeowners, that smile when I see that sense of satisfaction, that they just broke free of something they never really thought they could get rid of, that power bill. So something like also to keep in mind, in Texas, our power bills are not really that high for the most part. Most averages are right around $250 to $300 a month. So sizing your system and what products we're selling, we have to try to really be competitive with that price point on the monthly basis, especially in the first few years of their solar loan. When you get around year 3, 4, and 5, it's not so much of a matter. There's no factor. You're definitely saving the money at that point. But in the first 2 years, you got to kind of pay attention to how you're setting the system up and how you're sizing it for them. So one of the ways I wanted to guys is what I do a lot of telemarketing. Because I have a roofing book of business, I call my customers who already trust me and bring them on board. I set a lot of appointments that way with them. And even if they're not interested in solar, their neighbors are definitely interested. So I immediately put them into the ambassador program. I've signed 10 new ambassadors in the last week and a half doing this. And a couple of them didn't go solar. A few of them have gone solar, but they were just roofing customers, and I brought them on board with us, and they're starting out right now to send me referrals. That's a powerful program. It's a built-in system that we have here, and that is very, very awesome, because it tracks the usage of that client throughout our system process. So you put it to use it with your telemarketing campaigns, use it with when you're talking to roofers. If they're not interested in going on board with us to be a consultant or an enterprise, throw them that extra $1,000 per referral. So I use technology as well. I use an automation driven CRM, Go High Level. It's really robust. You can build it all the way out, or you can use it in a bit more basic form. It does text message marketing. It does voicemail drops. It has a built-in phone system. You can pick phone numbers you want from any country. You can pick phone numbers from any area code in the United States as well. And so if you wanted to go call on Arizona, for instance, we're doing a lot of calls right now in Arizona. Last week, we started doing that. I grabbed an Arizona area code, dropped about 100 leads into it, and started calling them. You know, we tag our contacts when we do that, so that way we can put them through those automation workflows, whether they're getting additional follow-up text messages, emails, and voicemails. It's all done automatically for us. They're all built out. I have templates already built. I don't really have to do anything. If one of my virtual assistants gets a text message response from a client, depending on what the response is, whether it's a positive response or whatever, they can just click send SMS message. They can go up to the template tab, click it, and then pick whatever template they want to send back. It automatically has basically what I would say to them in a text message response already built for them. And they don't have to type nothing. They just click it, send, and it sends it automatically. And then they can actually build a conversational flow over text message with them with template usage. The email works the same way. The voicemail drops, we just pre-record voicemails and drop them in there. And then we use those a lot for confirming appointments. And then we'll also use them for our initial reach out. If we're not telemarketing some of the list, we'll upload an extra 50 or so contacts in that area and just do voicemail drops, because we may not be getting a lot of people answering the phone at whatever time we're calling. So we'll do it that way. Let them call us back or text back. Sometimes they do that. And then, we also built all of our web funnels and automated calendars into the CRM website with automation. So all of our websites run automatically. All the web forms run them through the funnel, and then they all have attached SMS, email, and voicemail drop workflows that basically create this seamless web of capture for that audience to stay within the system, to try to help them along throughout the process to getting them to their electric bill. They can upload their electric bill and everything right into the system, and then they could go right all the way into booking their appointment without ever even being talked to live and in person. They just hear my voice over a voicemail drop, or they get a text message from us. They get the emails, and they go right through the system. And once they're in front of me on the Zoom or on a phone call, if it's a phone call that they booked their appointment with, because I give them the choice. That's the first time that they actually get to hear me in person, live, or see me live on a Zoom. And then we use for our lead generation, we use podcasts. So we have signed up a couple of podcast hosts as ambassadors. And then we also do paid ads on those podcast platforms like Podbean and Apple iPod store or whatever that is. I don't even use it. My assistant sets that up. And then Nextdoor app. With the Nextdoor app, I just created a free account. They give you a free business listing. You can use that business listing to post on there, free and paid ads. You can also, what I found was really cool, you can go in the Nextdoor app when you're not doing anything, and you can do a search for solar in the general search, and it will put you right into the conversation of everybody in the neighborhood area that surrounds you that's talking about solar right then and there. And you can join that conversation and pull leads from it. I'm signing somebody tomorrow to a closed deal for 14.5 kilowatts, who I generated the lead from doing that for free. It took about 15 minutes and a good conversation through a private message inside the app, another 30 minutes to get that appointment. We sat down and did the proposal, and he's signing the documents tomorrow.
Jason, can you say that one more time? The Nextdoor app?
Yes, sir.
How do you utilize that?
So the Nextdoor app is when you log in and create your account on the app, you actually put the zip code and the neighborhood you live in. And then you can pick all the neighborhoods around you up to a certain radius that you want to basically get posts from, right? And then what you do is you'll go, they have a very robust search. I can search, like if I was going to California and I wanted to find out what's going on in the neighborhoods in the area community wise, if for activities or whatever, I could just search in there and it'll bring up all kinds of activities and everything that individuals or small businesses may be posting up that they're doing for activities. So you can plan your calendar out for the trip, or you can just be doing it if you're just specifically looking for something to fill a need, or if you wanted to post an alert, like somebody saw in my neighborhood the other day, somebody saw something that was a strange dog wandering the neighborhood that looked like it was lost. So they wanted to make sure that if anyone lost a dog, they took a picture and posted up on there and let everybody know.
Do you search for solar and roofing though, or like how do you connect with people, or have you ran ads on Nextdoor?
So I run ads on Nextdoor for both roofing and solar, but my personal account, I go in and I just go search for solar or search for roofing, and it drops me in the conversation of all of the people that are having a post thread that are discussing solar. Like for instance, the other day, somebody had somebody knock his door from another company. It was Suntria, and they sat down and listened to their presentation and got a proposal from him. But he didn't like the numbers because they were a little awkward to him and it didn't seem right. So he just asked if anybody had done business with Suntria. And I dropped myself into that conversation. And then I ended up talking to him. He's the person I'm signing tomorrow. And I explained to him, the difference between their proposal and my proposal. It was very similar equipment. They were using Enphase and Mission panels. We had Mission 415s, they had Mission 345s. And then Enphase, I was using IQ8 and they were using IQ7. And then their production numbers, they were showing that their production was 101%. But when you did the math on their actual kilowatts produced versus the usage, it was 80% of his actual usage. So I said, well, they lied to you. I didn't lie. I showed them, my proposal, and right. I showed them that my system produces 18,263 kilowatts, and he uses 17,500. So I overproduced for him 103%, and that allowed him to have a zero for an electric bill, versus them, they'll still carry over a little bit of a bill for him, and they try to hide it in the numbers in comparison. And he was like, awesome. So he posted on Nextdoor app in that thread for people to talk to me if they're interested in solar as well. And I made him an ambassador the other day too. So hopefully we'll get some more additional traction on that. But it was pretty cool because I just really came across it. I didn't even think about it for about 2 weeks ago, started doing that. And then the other thing we use is we also use age leads and wholesale provider there. Solarclosers.biz is who we use. And I have to do this disclaimer. You can use any age lead source. This is just who I use. Results may vary, and we are not paid for this promotion. That was per Jonathan, just so you know.
Appreciate it. That was the best disclaimer ever. So what do you do with that? You get old age leads, you pay for some, you call on them, you drip on them. What's that about?
Right. So every time somebody fills out a form like on Sunrun or Home Advisor or Angie's List or whatever for interest in solar, what happens is they get that lead and then they'll call them the very first instance. If they don't answer the phone once they call, they just toss it. They don't call back. They have no follow-up system. So that goes into a database and we buy from that database. They're usually 1 to 7 day old once opt-in forms. So they legally show that they were interested in searching out or seeking some information on solar, and you get to call them. You get to we do a telemarketing call first to warm the list up, and then we follow it up with SMS and voicemail drop. And that's just kind of how our process goes. And we started that way and work it until they tell us to stop calling them or they put solar on their property. And then if they put solar on their property, we keep them in the loop because we want to be able to make sure that if it wasn't with us, we're the person they come to for the battery add-on or the additional panels they add on. So we always ask their permission for that and then make sure that they give us that consent.
Awesome.
So that's pretty much what I got. If anyone has any questions or additional questions outside of what Jonathan's asked, feel free to fire them away.
Very cool, Jason. Appreciate it. A little nuggets there on recruiting roofers. Great reminder to everyone here. Some information on Texas and some lead gen here. One question out there was, what's the approximate kilowatt hour rate in Texas? I think specifically the ERCOT location.
So the price per kilowatt
hour, yeah. Is it sometimes it's 11, 12, 14? Like, what does it look like in Texas?
So it depends on the retailer. Most of the co-ops are right around 11 to 12 cents. Like TXU, Reliant, they're a little bit higher. They're more like 13, 14, and 15 cents. Their wholesale buyback rates with Reliant and with Rhythm Energy, we found, as well as M2P Energy, which is in the mostly in the Houston area, but they also do up in Dallas area. But we found that their buyback rates are the highest. They'll buy back pretty close to retail, so they're right around 9-10 cents, and then they only make like 3 or 4, maybe 5 cents on it in the retail side, whereas like we've been noticing in Arizona, as we're calling, people are paying 19 cents and then their buyback rate is 10 cents, so there's pretty good spread on the power. It's a little different in Texas. It's a little tighter, and it's because the competition is there's so much more competition. They have choice. You can say they can switch provider today if they want to pay the disconnect fee and the deposit for the new provider, and then tomorrow they could switch to a whole nother provider if they found a better rate.
Wow.
They just pay that fee.
Someone asked about co-serve. Jason, are you familiar with that one?
Co-serve, that's basically like a co-op style setup. It's the same thing. They're serving electricity in a co-op format where they may not have ownership. The clients, the customers that are buying as the retail on the retail side may not have ownership like in a co-op. That's about the only difference.
Got it. Very good. Any other questions? Well, let's see. Reggie here asked, do you have probably a virtual assistant you can recommend to help with Go High Level?
I've got if you want to get with me later, I've got a couple that are really good. They've been working for me, and I don't utilize them like 100% of the time. So you can use them as well. I'll get you their contact info. And then Jonathan did want me to drop a couple of pieces of information about holding gross in a deal. So I sold a deal. It was 18.5 kilowatts, and the overall margin was $32,000. We had $1,000 ambassador fee and a $24,000 commission to me. My average commission is $12,300, and I have 0 cancellations.
Wow.
So I take care of my customers all the way through the process, and I'm always making very good contact with them because I have that CRM that does all the automation follow-ups for me. I don't have to worry about, oh, I forgot to call this person, or I wanted to touch base with them again and kind of see where they're at, because they're waiting on permit. They've been waiting for a long time. And I just wanted to check in with them, make sure they're still comfortable and confident with moving forward and everything's going well. And I don't have to worry about forgetting all that stuff. That stuff is automatically done for me in my CRM. My virtual assistants take care of all that for me as well.
Nice, nice. I did put your email in the chat here, Jason, j.reedy at zeroenergymethod.com, his company. Feel free to type your info, Jason, or for anyone else out there, feel free to email. A great Texas mentor and roofing solar owner who seems pretty dialed with his CRM, his drips, his Go High Level, and all that. So thank you, Jason, for being on the team, sticking with us, being part of us, selling roofs and solar. Glad to have you. Thanks so much.
All right, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Cool, cool. 1 or 2 last announcements, and we're going to be moving over, those of us that want to an 11 a.m. training. And then Scott Crum, I'll probably have you speak in just a minute what we can look forward to next Tuesday. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen. So quick shout out. We have a contest going till the end of March. It's called the Impact Journey. It is those that are selling as consultants, mentoring deals, recruiting, and getting their recruits to sell a deal. So the numbers were from last Wednesday, so almost a week old. But David Marcel here in Northern California, he's a beast. Look out for him. Jordan Shaw's crushing it. Corey Ventura on the team. Ubaldo Torres out there on the East Coast, New Jersey, crushing it. Kiara Smithy, of course. Cynthia Alvidrez here, Rockstar. Paul Leone, Rockstar. Sierra Sims. Julian Todd, we mentioned earlier. JC Rangel, of course. Chris Bernasso's doing okay. He should be a little higher up. Justin Santos crushing it. Just kidding. Justin Santos, awesome job. Wally crushing it from the Philippines. So a lot of people here on the team. If I forgot some, excuse me, but these are the top 36 people selling deals, I think since January to the end of March. So shout out to all you guys. We're going to go party in Mexico, build a home, and then go to the resort winery, Valle de Guadalupe, with Jonathan Budd, the executives, and a whole bunch of other people there. And then lastly, I just want to end with Tammy. Let's do a quick question from you, and then I'll hear from Scott Crum if he's still here. What's going on, Tammy?
Well, thank you. If I could just make a quick shout out, we have a game-changing opportunity here in Arizona to actually get the majority of our board members at Salt River Project to be pro-solar. I'm working with the 4 pro-solar candidates. I have an event that I've organized for the Arizona Green Chamber of Commerce. Thursday, I just posted it in the chat. People can support the candidates at srpcleanenergy.com financially, even if you're not in Arizona. if we are able to get these 4 elected, we would now have a majority on the SRP board, and they can work to reverse the damage they did in 2015 that made SRP such a challenging utility here in Arizona. This is huge, huge opportunity. And on Thursday at 5 p.m. Arizona time, 4 p.m. Pacific time, I will be facilitating conversation with these 4 candidates. So people can learn more about them. And the link for that is free. It's a Zoom, and the link for that is in the chat.
Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate it. Yeah, Arizona is a big market, guys. I've heard that some of the permitting is getting faster there. My brother has a team of guys out there. He just onboarded. So more important than ever, we need to support Arizona and everywhere, right? Florida, California. But thank you, Tammy, for your Arizona leadership. Appreciate it.
This is huge.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Lastly, Scott Crum is going to be training next week. Drop us on 2 or 3 bullet points, what we can expect, how you're crushing it, how you're building the team. You've got leaders and mentors under you. What can we expect for next week's training, Scott?
Yep. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. Next week is going to be about mind your own business, kind of a play on words there. We'll be both working with this mind and more like digging mind. So we'll be working on stuff like that. I want to add one more thing though. This weekend in Fresno, we had the Fresno Home Show. Everybody, this is the time of season for home shows. We have 3 a year in Fresno, 2 in Visalia. So you guys will probably have home shows in your area. Friday, I walked the home show, and these are all the cards that I received. I got tons of cards. These are all customers, people that I've been looking at for either becoming either in for enterprise or coming in as actual consultants. Actually, one person's already looking at the program. I've even contacted these. I've been so busy since Friday, and this is just one day at the show. So if you're looking to build a business, look for your local home shows, walk around, talk to roofers, window, grass people, other solar salesmen. I'm telling you, it's worth your time. Look for your home shows. Awesome.
That's just from walking the event. I mean, imagine partnering with 2 other consultants, getting a booth, having fun, giving out raffles. Awesome.
Yep. So
cool. Looking forward to next Tuesday, Scott. A lot more important announcements coming up, ladies and gents. Thank you all for being here. We are going to hop over, for those of us that want, to an 11 a.m. training. Cynthia will be leading it. It is for the real estate community, Southern California Citrus Valley Association of Realtors. We do this 4 times a year. It's free. We're going to provide training and value, and then we're going to do a 2-minute little sales pitch at the end. So if you want to watch the recording, it'll be available in 1 to 2 weeks. But thank you everyone so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.
Can we jump on that now though?
Yes, possible? Please go ahead and click over, save this link while it's in the chat. It is on Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
And everything, yeah.
Got it.
Jarrett, have a wonderful week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. You guys have a great, great week. Let's crush it.
Have a great one, you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Tammy.
Have a good week.